Xin chào tất cả các vị thiền sinh thân mến.
Says greeting to everyone.
Hôm nay chắc trời rất lạnh, nên thấy vắng nhiều.
It's like it's cold, that's why you don't see a lot of people here. Perhaps it's dark and you're stuck in traffic.
Yeah, and sick. A lot of people sick at work. Nhiều người bệnh.
Yeah.
Quý vị về ở nhà có thực tập meditation and working meditation không?
Does everyone practice meditation, walking meditation regularly?
Yeah.
Maybe?
I'm not on call.
Must convenient.
I lay down a lot.
Happy.
You know, laying
Lying meditation.
not asleep, but like when I wake up in the morning, first thing I do is I just stay in bed. But I listen to a Dharma Talk a lot, but I pretend, well, I use that for meditation. And at night too.
Chứ bạn nghe Pháp, bạn nằm nghe Pháp bạn thiền.
Thích nhất hạnh.
Do you listen? Thất Nhật Hạnh.
Thường thường mỗi ngày chúng ta ngồi thiền, đi thiền hoặc hơi Dharma Talk là để cho chúng ta có cái điều kiện chúng ta quay trở về sống với chính mình.
He's just reiterating that it's good to meditate and listen to Dharma Talk each day because it's a reminder for us to come back and look upon ourselves and progress in the practice.
Cho nên nhiều khi chúng ta học mà chúng ta không có ứng dụng á, thì chúng ta không có thấy gì lợi ích hết.
So there's two parts. There's studying, learning the Dharma, and also practicing the Dharma. You can learn the Dharma all you want, but if there's no practice, you will not realize the fruit of the Dharma. And only through practice can you move forward or go on the path to Nirvana.
Hồi thời Đức Phật có hai vị đệ tử lớn của Phật khi chưa xuất gia thì tầm sư học đạo, nhưng mà vị thầy chỉ dạy thì không tới nơi tới chốn. Nhưng mà sau này cái hai vị đệ tử của hai vị đệ tử lớn của Phật khi chưa xuất gia thì theo những vị thầy ông ngoài thế gian học một thời gian nhưng mà vẫn thấy chưa có vừa ý, cho nên một hôm gặp Đức Phật và xin theo Phật xuất gia. Thì sau khi theo Phật xuất gia thời gian thì hai vị này chứng quả A La Hán và muốn về để mà độ cho vị thầy của mình. Nhiều vị thầy của mình lúc còn ở ngoài chưa có hiểu đạo, cho nên thấy những cái không chịu nghe, không chịu đến để học hỏi với Phật, quy với Phật, mà theo cái con đường của mình hồi đó tới giờ chỉ dạy bao nhiêu đệ tử rồi cung phụng này kia nhiều, cho nên dính mắc vào trong đó, không có đến thỉnh họ thưa với Đức Phật. Cho nên Đức Phật mới dạy hai câu bài kệ pháp cú này.
So two of the elder disciples of the Buddha, prior to practicing with the Buddha, they have practiced with other teacher Brahmas, and through their practice, the only thing they did was just study. They didn't do any practice, so they weren't able to achieve anything or found peace. And so one day they left and they learned about the Buddha, and they came and took refuge in the Buddha and start practicing. And because they had the basis of understanding, some basis of understanding already, through that practice it elevated them, and they reached Arhat very short period. And they came back to teach their teacher, to relay the teaching to their teacher, but because the teacher was stuck in their own way, and because of the ego, their own ego, he didn't follow the teaching, and he continued to live life and never achieved anything.
Câu chuyện kể rất là dài, nhưng mà thầy tóm ý lại cái ngắn thôi. Hôm rồi thầy kể hơi dài quá, bây giờ rút ngắn lại. Cái đó là cái mẫu chuyện. Tại sao khi Đức Phật Ngài dạy cho các hai vị đệ tử lớn của Ngài, xong rồi Ngài đọc ra cái bài kệ để nói lên cái lời dạy của Ngài, được đúc kết. Câu thứ 11: phi chân tưởng là chân thật, chân thật thấy là phi chân, cứ tư duy một cách tà vậy, người như thế không thể nào đạt đến chân thật.
Câu này một nói về
sâu yếu.
It's a poetic, it's a poem, a teaching. So trying to find the English translation to that. Because if I were to...
Dạ để thầy nói ý.
Yeah.
Thầy giảng nói ý, hỏi thầy dịch thêm. Câu thứ 11 và câu thứ 12, Đức Phật dạy cái gì đúng, chân thật, mình biết rõ là chân thật.
The Buddha teach that only through the practice that you can, and through the realization through the practice that you can, that's the only way that you can find the truth. And only from the truth, then you can, from that truth, from the understanding of that truth, then you can distinguish between the right way and the wrong path.
Như Đức Phật dạy, nói thân mình nó là giả, không có thật. Mình biết rõ nó là giả, không thật, đó là chân thật. Còn ngược lại, người thế gian, người ta không biết, người ta cho cái thân mình là thật, là quý, là đẹp, là sạch sẽ, cho nên người ta quý chuộng nó, người ta chăm sóc, người ta lo lắng, người ta nghĩ tưởng về nó thật là nhiều. Cho nên Đức Phật nói cái giả, cái không thật, cái bất tịnh mà mình tưởng nó là thật, là sạch sẽ, cho nên mình đắm luyến và mình nghĩ miên man về nó, lo lắng về nó.
So an example of that is the teaching of self, right? In the world, in the in the mundane world or perspective of ourself, we see the self or ourself as real, as something that's in some ways permanent, right? And so we spend our lives gratifying the body, the self, and we struggle through all that gratification, right? Because nothing is ever enough, right? Even searching for happiness, because of the wrong perspective, wrong understanding, we go on the wrong path in search of happiness. and peace, we never find it. Only when you realize that through the teaching of non-self, or it's not like the body isn't real, but the self entity itself is not permanent. You cannot hold on to it. It's always changing in that aspect. If it's always changing, it has no permanent, then it's not real, right? Because from one point of time to another point, you're always changing. Even in your mind, even in your thoughts, every aspect of what we call I is always changing. So in that perspective, there is no real you, or there's not a true permanent self. Once you understand that, then you can continue with the Dharma, with the teaching, to realize the truth. And only through that truth, then you can be on the right path to find liberation and peace, right? So, for example, in terms of, let's say, we think ourselves as this entity, right? Separate from everything else, and it's real. So what do? You put makeup on, you dress yourself nicely to create something that's permanent. And then as you age, you look at yourself and things are changing, and it's like, okay, right? It's not permanent, right? And then what happens through that? You suffer. And then you don't understand that. You still think that this self is still true, that's permanent. So you have some disgust in life, right? Or some suffering, but you still are reaching for the wrong thing to find that happiness, right? So you get wrinkles, so what do? You spend more money on cosmetic, cover that wrinkle, and more and more and more, but you're never satisfied, right? It's only when you understand this and you accept the impermanent, the non-true, non-self, that you can just let go of that idea. Is the idea that you're stuck with, that you're attached to, that's create that suffering, right? Because of attachment, then it leads to unwise action, right? When we realize that's not the truth, then we start to let go. Then we can take proper action to find the real peace, right? So that there's no longer the craving, the attachment. Right?
Cho nên Đức Phật dạy nói về thân mình nó là bất tịnh, mà mình tưởng nó là sạch sẽ, nó là thơm tho, cho nên chúng ta cứ nghĩ mãi về cái vấn đề cái thân của mình, quý chuộng và bảo vệ, rồi từ đó mình lo lắng cho nó, rồi mình ai đụng tới nó vẫn giữ nguyên cái đó, rồi cho nên tạo đủ thứ nghiệp. Mà bây giờ mình biết cái thân mình nó là bất tịnh, như quý vị nói con mắt là đẹp, nhưng mà một đêm mình ngủ dậy thì có hai con to vậy thì sao? Nó cũng dơ. Mũi mình đó, khi mà bệnh đó, nó khạch ra gì? Nó cũng ra đồ bất tịnh, không có sạch. Rồi cái lỗ tai của mình, khi mình nói móc ra đó là gì? Nó cũng là bất tịnh. Cái miệng mình mà tối ngủ thức dậy sáng mà không có đánh đó, thì nó cũng chồi cá mấy chỗ khác là chín chỗ nó thường nó chảy ra những cái đồ bất tịnh đó. Mình thấy nó vậy là mình không có đam mê chính, như là bị nó mình biết nó là dơ quế, nó là bất tịnh, mình biết rõ như vậy. Phật nói đó là cái điều chân thật, mà mình cái chân thật đó, có lẽ chân thật của nó là thân mình là bất tịnh, rồi nói cái thân của mình á nó sẽ vô thường, nó sẽ thay đổi, từ phút từ giây, từ phút từ giây, từ phút từ giây, từ ngày này qua ngày kia. Nó vô thường, nó vô thường rất là nhanh.
So, again, relating back to the self, the body itself. We have the wrong view, and we see the body as being attractive, right? And let's say, you see another person attractive, usually it's their face, something about them that's attractive, but we don't realize the truth of the matter, right? Like, there's, as attractive as you think it is, the other side of it is, there's a lot of things that you're disgusted, right? This, for example, looking at, considering hair is beauty, right? It's attractiveness, right? But, what if you see a ball of human hair just sitting next to your bed? Is that attractive anymore? No, right? But we don't see that. And so, because of that, not having that realization, our action, it can be an impure action. For example, in medicine, right? There's, I just give an example. Chinese medicine. They think like rhino horn or some other animals will make them stronger or make them, they're useful as beauty product. Right? So what do? They start killing animals, create suffering for others. That's unwholesome action. And all that comes from the very essence of not seeing the truth about beauty, right? About yourself. So we do all these impure action to make ourselves more attractive, to protect ourselves, and yet we don't realize that we're on the wrong path. It's only when you realize the unwholesomeness of the body itself, then we can take a different path, right? Now that doesn't say that you go and kill yourself, right? Right? That's not what it's about. It's not about. It's not an argument about what is attractive or what is not attractive. But the whole essence of this is to see the truth of yourself, of the body. That's one example.
Nói thân mình nó vô thường. Ở bên Mỹ bên đây mình cũng thấy cái sự vô thường nó cũng nhanh lắm. Như có hai vợ chồng cũng 80 mấy tuổi, hai chồng muốn mua đồ ăn thì người vợ kêu người chồng đi chợ mua đồ. Thì khi chở tới chợ thì ông thôi bạn vô mua đi, tôi đi lại cái pharmacy đây tôi mua thuốc tôi uống. Nhưng mà khi ông tới pharmacy ông mới vừa xuống xe cái là cái tim bị nhồi nó, cái ông xỉu ông té xuống. Ông té xuống xong rồi cái nhân viên người ta điện cấp cứu lại, chở vào bệnh viện thì ông mất. Tôi thấy cái sự vô thường nó rất là nhanh chóng. Nhiều khi nó bả đợi đó, ổng đi mua thuốc xong ổng lại uống thuốc, bả đã trở về nhà. Nhưng mà khi nói gì đó, nhưng mà khi đi rồi một đi không trở lại, nó vô thường, nó nhanh vậy đó. Cho nên chúng ta thấy cái vô thường nó rất là nhanh chóng. Cho nên chúng ta khi chúng ta còn hít thở, chúng ta mắt còn thấy, tai còn nghe rõ ràng từ mọi cái cử chỉ hành động của mình, còn hoạt động tới lui được, thì chúng ta nên cố gắng nhận rõ là cái gì là thật, cái gì là không phải thật. Cho nên cố gắng nỗ lực tinh tấn tu tập để mỗi giờ mỗi phút chúng ta còn tỉnh táo, chúng ta còn đi lại được. Đó là những cái giờ phút rất là an lạc, rất là hạnh phúc khi chúng ta ứng dụng lời Phật dạy và hiểu rõ cái vô thường, nó sanh bất tịnh, thấy rõ như vậy, chúng ta không có ấm luyến, chúng ta thấy rõ sự vô thường thay đổi mau chóng như vậy, chúng ta tự thức tỉnh và quay trở về nỗ lực tinh tấn tu tập để lợi ích an lạc.
So he's telling the story about these two couples going to the market, and so the husband told the wife to, you go shopping, I'm going to go to pharmacy, pick up some medicine. And within 5 minutes he had a heart attack and he died. So that's an example of impermanent, right? But we don't look at impermanent in that way or in that perspective at all. We look at ourselves as permanent most of the time, right? We don't think that we're going to die within minutes or within hours or days. We're always thinking, okay, I can live to 80 years old or 90 years old or something like that, right? But impermanent is continuous. It's almost continuous, right? So what does that mean in this teaching? That means that we have no control of our life as we exist here. So, in retrospect to talking about the non-self or how the body is impermanent, right? What that leads to is that it is very important for us to always come back and live in the present and to practice, because our life is very short. Anything could happen in the next minute, right? The longest life that we ever have is just one breath. Just one breath. And we live and live through one breath at a time. Right? When you can realize the breath that you're living, then you realize how short your life could be. And that just calls to really putting effort in to learning the Dharma and practicing the Dharma. Because even though the Buddha taught about the 32 unwholesome part of the body, have you heard about that teaching? He's talking, how all the eye, nose, hair, mucus, blood, all that, right?
Yeah.
He's teaching that so that you remove the perspective of the beauty and the attachment to the body, right? But he also says that as a human, this is the most precious thing that we have. Because as human, we're only are the one that can understand, hear the teaching, and practice the teaching to live ourselves. So, his teaching is not about getting rid of the body. Because what happened was that after the teaching of the 32 unwholesome part of the body, historically, some monk got so disgusted, they went and they committed suicide. And so he had to stop them because they had the wrong idea. That wasn't what he meant. What he meant was, okay, look at your body as it is. See the truth to it. The beauty is not there, right? And that truth. But also realize that within this lifetime, within the body that you have right now, is very precious, because this is the only place and only time that we can practice. Who knows what next life you will be, right?
Quý vị có câu hỏi gì thắc mắc này trả lời.
Anyone have any question? Yes.
We're talking about practice to move forward on the path. I guess it's my personal example. Is guided meditation as effective as silent meditation?
Câu hỏi á, nếu mình thực tập á, câu hỏi cái mình ngồi thiền, tự ngồi thiền, cái nào tốt hơn, ngồi thiền hay là nghe cái lời ai hướng dẫn trong khi lúc mình ngồi thiền, mở âm mình nghe?
Lúc mình ngồi thiền là lúc mình ứng dụng thực tập, mình không có nghe. Và khi mà mình muốn nghe thì mình cứ ngồi nghe thôi. Thì khi mình ngồi thiền là chỉ ngồi thiền thôi.
Cô nói là cái nào nó tốt hơn?
Giữa ngồi thiền và nghe cái nào tốt hơn?
Dạ. Cái giữa ngồi thiền với lại nghe vị thầy hướng dẫn mình ngồi thiền. Guided meditation.
Cái nào sao?
Cái nào tốt hơn? Cái phương pháp nào tốt hơn?
Cả hai. Tại vì mình ngồi thiền thì mình phải có một vị thầy hướng dẫn. Và khi mình ngồi thiền có những cái trục trặc, có những cái trở ngại gì, mình hỏi thầy thì thầy sẽ giúp mình tiếp tục nữa. Và khi nào mà mình giác ngộ, mình ngồi mình giác ngộ thành Phật hoàn toàn rồi đó thì không cần thầy nữa. Lúc đó mình ngồi thiền tốt.
Không, cái ý của cổ này nè là ở ngoài kia có nhiều băng hướng dẫn mình ngồi thiền. Tôi nghĩ là có một vị thầy nói ngồi đó xong rồi tác ý này tác ý kia trong cái sự thiền. Okay.
Cái đó là đường đi, cái nó có nhiều vị đi theo đó thì nó không có đúng đường, nó đi lệch rồi nó bệnh này bệnh kia, rồi người ta có nhiều người ta thấy vậy cái ta sợ, ta không ngồi thiền. Còn bây giờ mình ngồi đây là có trên và thượng, mình có cái từ trên xuống tới dưới nương theo Phật nè, là Phật Hoài Trần Nhân Tông của mình đó, hồi xưa ở Việt Nam đó. Rồi giờ tới Hòa Thượng Trúc Lâm mình, Hòa Thượng đã tu năm nay 90 mấy tuổi, Hòa Thượng cũng rất là tốt ngày đấy, cho nên mình cứ theo đó. Rồi Hòa Thượng cũng có chỉ hướng dẫn, với thầy cũng có lên trên đó tu, cho nên với thầy cũng đã từng ứng dụng. Tuy là mình ngồi thiền rồi xong mình so bóp này kia đó, tuy là nó cứ lập tới lập luôn, mình thấy nó như nó nhàm phải không, nhưng mà đó là một cái căn bản. Mình làm sao massage cho cơ thể mình, nó máu huyết nó lưu thông, tay chân mình nó không bị đau nhức, thì mình rồi xong á, chẳng những cái ngồi là cái điều kiện tốt nhất để cho mình ngồi để cho nó dễ định tâm, nhưng mà sau khi mình ngồi mà nó có giờ giấc ổn định rồi đó thì mình có thể walking hay là đi đứng nằm ngồi rồi mình áp dụng thiền trong cả ngày đó, thì nói vậy nó sẽ lợi ích. Còn bây giờ mình nghe bây giờ trên YouTube rất là nhiều thầy hướng dẫn mình ngồi thiền thì đủ thứ hết, cho nên mình học phải có thầy hướng dẫn. Tại vì vị thầy đó đã từng đã có cái chiều hướng, đã đi rồi, đã đi qua những cái giai đoạn đó rồi, cho nên nhiều khi vô đây thầy kêu đếm hơi thở hay là đi thiền hành rồi đếm hơi thở, rồi theo dõi hơi thở, rồi viết vọng theo đó, thầy đã từng trải qua rồi, cho nên hướng dẫn như quý vị. Cho nên quý vị về đây nên áp dụng vậy, để có cái gì để thầy nhắc để cho cái đường mình đi nó bình an, nó tới nơi tới chốn.
So what he said is that there's several important steps in meditation. Right? Now the difference between or your question about guided meditation or sitting meditation by yourself. Sitting by yourself is better. Why is it better? Because you are practicing, you are living in meditation. So you are realizing from moment to moment, and you're not being distracted, you're not thinking about something else, or you're not thinking about concepts, right? You're practicing, right? So that is like experience. Versus guided meditation, it may be helpful at the very beginning when you first start, right? When you're trying to learn a technique or a method, but in the long run, it's not very helpful. it becomes a distraction. Because oftentimes we listen to something, you kind of decipher it. You have to understand it. So you have to have to create some concept for what you're listening to, right? So you're falling into concept, into a story or description, rather than experiencing. It's almost like listening to someone explain to you, describe to you what Japan is like, versus being in Japan, right? You'll never realize through listening, but being there, that's the only time you can realize what Japan is, right? So, because when we listen to someone, what happens in the mind? Imagery, right? But those imagery are not real. They're just concept based on our understanding. So if 3-4 people listen to the same guided meditation tape and they're all different level, they're going to have totally different understanding, right? So experience through self-realization and practice is more important. But it's very important that, but what you can do is listen to the guided meditation, listen only, practice, because it's sometimes, well, there's several type of guided meditation. There's one that takes you to a visualization of something peaceful, right? Calming or peaceful, right? That's artificial. Versus a guided meditation where the teacher guides you into, give you an idea of what to do during meditation, what to expect.
Just like watching your breath or
Right.
listening to your mind or observing your mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there's a lot of meditation out there. Here where we're speaking about Buddhist meditation, but there's a lot of meditation out there. Before the Buddha became the Buddha, there were meditation practice thousands of years before that also. But none of those type of meditation, especially visualization, anyone that ever practiced those never realized being Buddha, right? Never fully awakened until the Buddha. Right? So here we're just talking about Buddhist meditation to bring us to realization, to full realizing, to nirvana. Right? So, but the important thing is that we need to understand the method. We need to stay. If you're going to learn a method, stick with it until you get stuck. And the second part is that you need to have a teacher, so that when you get stuck, you have someone to rely on to help you through that. Now, and if he can't help you, then maybe you need to change the method, right? But need to be consistent with the method. So having a teacher is very important. Practicing is even more important. Continuous practice.
So it's silent, you're probably thinking more about, you're watching your mind at that time instead of somebody saying breathe or...
Right. Right.
Because it's the same suggestion over and over, but I just like to listen about the concepts of emptiness and the here and now, and just as a reminder. But I think in addition, you're saying you need the silent, introspective meditation as a good complete practice.
Right. Yeah, because what is meditation? Is to look in, right? When you're listening to someone, that's still from the outside. It's good to do both.
Yeah.
But the practice itself, sitting in silence, looking in, that's like walking towards something. towards a destination versus hearing a person say, okay, here's a map, you go this way, that way, then you get there. Any other questions? Yes?
What does Master chant at the beginning?
The beginning, each time before we sit and practice, we take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and Sangha. So that's what he's chanting. That's why we take three bow. Yeah. Bow to I take refuge in the Buddha, so you bow to the Buddha, and then Dharma, and the Sangha. Yeah.
Câu hỏi lại gì?
Yeah.
Đầu tiên về câu
Đầu tiên, lúc ban đầu thầy tụng gì vậy?
Mấy có nghe có hiểu pháp tu.
Yeah.
Mấy có nghe có hiểu.
Actually, the tradition here is you take refuge every time before you sit or before you listen to Dharma. You always take three refuge. Typically, that's what we do. And in sitting meditation, we do that as well. So we take refuge and then we sit and meditate, and then we usually chant the Heart Sutra before we stand up. Yeah.
You're also talking about a teacher. Is like Thich Nhat Hanh, Dharma Talks, tapes, is that okay? Are you talking about one-on-one teacher?
Yes.
A one-on-one?
Yes, it's
So
best
how do you do that? How do you,
see,
where do you find a teacher?
when you hear tape, what you're listening to is teaching of methods of doing things, right? But since we haven't attained anything yet, we're still practicing. It's just like playing tennis. You can watch all the tape, you can listen, but no one's going to identify how you're swinging the racket. A better way is to swing the racket, right? Same thing in meditation is you may get to a point where you get stuck and you don't know. The tape's not going to explain it to you, because everyone's going to experience differently when they meditate. You could be counting your breath. One person could be counting the breath, and they're going to have a totally different experience from another person. That difference is when the teacher is important. They can, he can help you if you're stuck in any way. For example, the stages of meditative absorption, the jhana. When you go into the first jhana, different people will experience that state differently. Some people will feel like they're floating. Some people will feel like out of body. Right? Now, when you first time that happened to you, it's strange. It's just not, doesn't feel normal. And you don't, for some people, they're, when they get to those experiences, physical experiences, they get scared and they may give up. That's why a teacher is there to help you. So if anytime you have a question, you ask the teacher, and because he's gone through all those states already, and he has the experience, he can identify what state you're in, where you're stuck. And often, let's say, in meditation, greed can come up, aversion can come up, attachment can come up, the idea of permanence will come up, but can you identify when they come up? When you get stuck in your meditation, an experienced teacher can listen to your description and tell you whether it could be one of those things, or it could be some other reason that you're having trouble, right? in meditation, you could have physical ailment if you don't do it correctly. Let's say you could have a lot of pressure in the chest, right? Now, depending on how you're meditating and what's on your mind, and your perspective, it could mean a different thing. It could be greed. It could be aversion that create that physical phenomena. Remember, the mind creates everything. The body can express through the mind. Right? So that's why it's important to have a teacher.
Well, is he our teacher now?
Yes.
Okay, so we can ask him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, when you go through your practice, bring your questions or have a pad next to you. Count
Yes.
them down. And you can bring
We have to
any,
be able to articulate it.
yeah, any,
Right.
any,
So, and it's very important. Câu hỏi là cô có cái thắc mắc gì trong mình thì nó có hỏi thầy. So, at home when you're meditating, right? Because you probably meditate more at home than here, right? We only sit here for 45 minutes. You have more chances to meditate at home. So you're going to have experience. You're going to run into maybe difficulty a lot more, right? Right after the session of each meditation, if you have, write it down right away. Note it down, okay. Note it in terms of your mental state, your emotional state, and your physical state. Because all those aspects will help the teacher identify what's going on. And then just, and bring it to Wednesday night, and you can ask him.
Well, I think for me and probably most people, the biggest problem is being in the here and now in everyday life. Then, go back to the breath. But if you're right in the middle of something, it's kind of hard to,
Right. So
my main question now would be how to remember what you just meditated about at home 3 hours later at work in a heated argument.
That's fine, right? So that's our tendency. That's our habit. That's our habit, right? Is disagreement and aversion and all that thing, right? And acting upon those things, right? And so the matter is not I need to be peaceful. That's not meditation. That's not the practice. Practice isn't to be peaceful. That's not the goal. The practice is to realize at the moment. Now, when we're not, when we're still learning, we may not realize until a second later or 10 minutes later. As long as you haven't realized it and you continue to practice, you'll be able to have realization quicker and quicker. You're able to come back, right? Meditation is looking in. It also means it's to return to the present. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the trick is noticing at that microsecond that you feel
Right.
angry or you're
Mhm.
getting upset
Right.
before you react.
Right. And
And
some,
it's not just to be zen-like all
Right.
day. That's
Yeah.
good, because that's what I thought. Our goal was to be at peace and never react and never get
Right.
angry and never...
see, where does the peace come from? The peace comes from the realization. It's just like when you know that you've done something wrong. That realization, and when you realize that and you accept it, then you're free, right? It's when you don't realize that you continue to spiral in that suffering. So it's just a matter of realizing when you're not present and you realize you're present, that's meditation. That's awareness. It's not sitting here, I have to be present, I have to be present, I have to be present. In fact, when you're focused on being present, you're not present. The act of when you're present, you know you're present. When you're breathing in, you're breathing in. You know you're breathing in. When you're breathing out, you know you're breathing out. When you have unskillful, unholy thoughts, you know that you have unwholesome thought. When you have wholesome thought, you know that's the practice. Try to stay present by returning, looking, observing, moment to moment, as much as you can. You know, because we're still practicing. We're not like the Buddha, where he's every single moment he's present, right?
So what you just said is part of the practice. It's not just sitting on the cushion being still. It's everyday awareness. That's
Yeah.
still practicing.
Yes.
Oh, good. I'm
Yeah.
pretty good at that.
There's two practices. There's the life practice and there's the sitting practice. Right? In Buddhism we say what? When you meditate, when you sit, when you walk, when you stand, when you lay down, all those are states that you can practice. Right? Now, sitting still without distraction will help you concentrate more. And when you're practicing while you're washing the dishes or cooking, this sitting meditation will help you stay focused, right? When you stay focused while you do certain other things, then you create strength in focusing. Then when you sit, you can focus even better. So they both are feeding off each other, helping you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You listen now.
Any other questions?
Did you ever find your poem? You never found the poem he was referring to?
No. Cái bài kệ, câu hỏi có kiếm được cái bài kệ dịch ra tiếng Anh không? Không.
Đấy là muốn mấy cái quyển sách có dịch tiếng Anh.
Dạ có. He said that he may have an English version of it. All right. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Goodbye. Good night.
Good night.
So when it's
Stay
cold, you know it's cold.
Yeah, it's supposed to get cold.
And then when you're upset because it's cold, you know you're upset.
Mùa
It's
thu.
cold.
Mùa thu.
Fall.
Fall. Today fall.
Fall.
Mùa thu.
Yeah.